first and foremost, let me make sure I can see my beautiful participants here. Taylor, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Taylor, was this your first convention or your second?
This was my first convention.
Okay, talk to me about it. What were your biggest takeaways? How
I,
did you feel? How are you coming back and going to work? Like, what's the scoop?
honestly, I needed it so bad, like just like something to motivate me and push me to work even harder. Because I knew for a long time, like I needed to invest more in leads. And like everyone in the office kept telling me it. And I was like, yeah, you're right. But like, I don't know. I don't really want to do it. And then I came back and I bought more leads. And guess what? I sold more insurance. So I like really needed it. And it was
So, do you
amazing.
think it was just the people at the office that you're around all the time? Like you're familiar with them, so you weren't listening to them, but then when you went to convention, you were like, these people are more serious than the people I'm around all the time, or what's the deal?
It wasn't even that. I think like just honestly, like hearing it on stage so many times, like when I was rereading my notes, I literally was like every other line, like buy more leads, buy more leads. And when I was like rewriting them out, I was like, oh my gosh, like I just need to do it. And then I did it. And then I told everyone at the office and they were like, yeah, no shit. Like we've been telling you this. But that
Yeah.
was my biggest takeaway. And like honestly, like I would go back to convention just to hear that again. Like it changed a lot for me.
That's huge. And so, what would your advice to anybody who, there's some people new on this call, so we can't go back in time and be like, oh, if you didn't go to convention so bad, like they can't go back and, but moving forward, as we have these, even virtual meetings, we have these BOMs, we have these other in-person meetings that are going to come up with Ignite in the summer, right? So we have a couple months. What's your advice to anyone who's like, I don't really know if I need to get as plugged in?
Dude, you need to get like as plugged in as possible. Like even the team calls every single week, like hype me up. Like all day today, I've been feeling sick and I was like very excited to get on this call and just to kind of feel like inspired for the week and to hear from other people that are like doing insane things. Like it's so cool to see that like every single person can do what these people are doing as long as you like plug in and apply like what you're learning.
Yeah, I love that. That's huge. Thanks, girl. All
Yeah.
right. So one thing, guys, because Taylor just reminded me, and I don't think she did anything to remind me, but it just came in my brain. Um, Really quick, guys. Obviously, if you went to our award ceremony and you got an award, you guys know that they did not come. Okay, because we failed and the weather failed us in Dallas. But I just want to let you guys know they have been reordered and they will be mailed directly to your house. So if you got like a glass award or a special award from Inspire, they're going to be mailed here shortly. So just look out for them. Lonnie and Jade should be reaching out for your addresses, but just let us know that we love you and we're excited for you and we're super proud of you and we're sorry that we could only give you the Red Bulls at the award ceremony because we couldn't find our awards. So that being said, we didn't forget about you guys and we want you guys to feel honored. And I also want to give a quick shout out to everyone that got awards at the corporate event. So Elizabeth got the All American Award. Nick D and Nick D, or no, Nick D and Nick P were the top two persistency agents in the whole company, which was literally insane because if you guys look at people that produce hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars of insurance. We have like 7 to 8 thousand people that write a policy every single month, and those two, Nick squared, which you must just be lucky if that's your name. Um, were the two top two persistent in the company, which is absolutely insane. So I want to give them some love. We had a bunch of people up there for over $200,000. We had Digna up there, Hall of Fame agency. We had five, I think, 4 or 5 Hall of Fame producers, Riyadh for the third time, which is absolutely, insane. So we just want to say that we love you, and we're super proud of you. Elizabeth, can you hear me?
Yes, hi.
Hi. Okay, so you got the All-American Award, which is amazing in itself, but tell these guys what your biggest takeaway from convention was this year and what you've kind of implemented since you've been home.
Um, I think I also I'm gonna increase the investment in leads and I'm gonna share with my team. I'm gonna make a split with them and what else? I'm gonna invest in my company because like today I said in the Dignas training, I'm gonna invest in my big company. What I say about this opportunity, this is an incredible millionaire big company. All of us, we have this opportunity in our hands. So I'm going to take advantage and I'm going to create everything around the big company. My vision is to create a multi-millionaire business and company, and I'm gonna create all the environment around. So I'm gonna invest in someone in marketing. I'm gonna invest in someone in coaching for my leaders. I'm gonna invest in um, social media, everything.
Good for you, girl. And okay, Elizabeth, you came here, what, 2 years ago from Colombia, right?
2 years ago. Well,
Okay,
from Colombia, 5 years ago.
5 years. Okay.
Here in this opportunity, 2 years ago.
Okay, when you first started the business, did you think that you would be doing what you're doing now, or is this still crazy to you?
No, no, never. I never thought that it was possible to make almost 6 figures in 1 month.
Insane, right?
Something that I made maybe in 2 years, I did in 1 month.
That's crazy. Does it ever frustrate you, like when other people maybe they come in and they're new and they complain about the business because you can see so clearly what the vision is? Like, do you get mad?
Yes, yes, absolutely. That's something that frustrates me a lot because I see it so clearly, so clear, and it's so frustrating because when I came here, I didn't have money. My credit cards were full, debts, everything. I didn't have family here. Well, I don't have family, only my daughter, and I don't have connections. I don't have friends. So if
Yeah.
I did it, anyone can do it.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you so much, Elizabeth. I mean, I'm just always so inspired by your story, and it makes me like every single day when I'm like having some random problem that's not even a problem. I'm like, Elizabeth came here and didn't even speak the language, taught herself how to speak the language, and then sold like 100 grand last month. So like, what am I whining about? So thank you for being on our team. Thank you for helping our team. Thank you for everything you did at convention. You killed it, and we're just super proud of you.
Thank you.
All right. Let me see. Andrew Walters, can you hear me?
Yeah, what's up?
What did you think about your first convention?
I mean, it was pretty awesome. My favorite part, well, for me, the biggest thing that I took away was just not being scared to post on social media. I've posted a couple things and I've started to get a couple recruits from it. So I think that was the biggest thing, just not letting fear get in my way, just going out there and posting, letting everybody know about the business.
Andrew, is it a couple recruits or am I mistaken that you might have got like 15 recruits in the last couple days?
15.
15 in the
Yeah.
last couple days.
Yeah.
Good for you. And they might even be licensed already from another company. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, good for you. But I think that's super important because you think that like you're the only one that's uncomfortable. And then you go there and you see all these people on stage and they're like, I'm nervous to be up here. I'm nervous to be up here. I'm nervous to be up here. Like after 5 years, I still have to take my phone up. So you're kind of like, okay, everyone's nervous. Everyone's scared. Let me just do it. Right.
Right.
Love that. What's something that, I mean, obviously social media, what's something that you feel like you have implemented besides social media? Just like in your dials, is there like a certain objection that you kind of been hitting on since you got back? Any like tactical sales tools?
Yeah, so what I started doing was sending pictures of my screen to the customer and letting them know like what I need and what I'm until they could see what I'm doing. So they don't till they could trust me, I guess. But yeah, I think that was the biggest part for me because I used to get a bunch of social objections. And now since I've started that, I don't think I've gotten a single one.
Dude, good for you. Been closing deals. So what would your advice to be to maybe to new agents who are kind of just plugging in with us and they're like, do I really need to be plugged into all this stuff that these guys are telling me I need to be plugged into?
Yeah, I mean, Desiree has been a big help for me. Going to her trainings every weekend has been awesome. So, I mean, I highly recommend going to every single training and also not being afraid to ask questions. Like, I sat next to Riyadh pretty much the entire convention and was asking him questions. So, yeah, just not being afraid to ask questions, I guess.
Yeah, that's huge. Well, thanks so much for sharing and congrats on you're about to have a big team, dude. We're excited for you.
Appreciate it.
And I think, guys, what's super important is obviously the event is amazing, and I kind of want to give you guys a little breakdown that I wrote down some strategy because what happens at these events is they really are awesome. And we could talk about it all night about how awesome it is. What everyone is going to come away with a different takeaway. It might be a certain a sales script, just like Andrew said, where he's like, "Hey, now I'm sending pictures." Someone on stage said, "Hey, send a picture to the client of what you're actually doing so they can feel more comfortable." It might be something motivational, like when you hear Elizabeth's story about how she came from another country and she's been here, 5 years, and this was like it might be something like that. It might be one of the keynote speakers, right? It could have been something, Robert was there. He did really awesome. Loved his talk. Could be something Gary Vee. Gary Vee talked about mostly just from like a human standpoint, not even really like business, but just like a lot of like, human stuff and relating to other people, which I think was awesome. So it could be anything for you. But what I want to hit on, you guys, and if you're taking notes, I want to give you a quick little training here and some things that I wrote down today, because what happens is that we need to come up with tactics, because the motivation from convention, everyone's on fire. We had our biggest week. We had our biggest 3 days of sales. Everyone's having like everyone's coming and they're fired up. But what happens is now it's kind of like that's only going to last so long, right? It's going to be the motivation from the event, but eventually you're just going to go back to your daily lives. Some stuff's going to go down. You're going to maybe get discouraged. You're going to get hung up on. There's going to be a new set of rejection. So what we really need to do, you guys, is to come up with some tactics to beat the motivation and go for long-term discipline. And how do we continue to meet our goals? So big events, what they do, guys, and I was writing this down today. Big events create emotional spikes, right? You're really emotionally really happy. You're fired up. You heard everyone's story. Realistically, right? If you saw Anthony up there, or Andrew up there, or you saw a person up there that you're like, I can do that. You saw the awards. You saw these people coming up and getting awards for over 200, 300, 400, $500,000 issue paid. And so you kind of think you can do it, but that's an emotional, like, oh my goodness, I'm so fired up right now. So what we need to do is go from, emotional spikes to now execution in the business and real systems that are going to get us there. So some things that I wrote down here, guys, is that events create energy, they create belief, and they create vision. And that's what a lot of us come back with. And execution is kind of the boring stuff. It's the boring routine that we have to go back to. It's the repetition and it's the predictability that we need to create in our schedule, right? So the way that you do that is I would challenge anybody, and some of you guys have already done this, and some of you guys took notes, some of you guys are taking notes, but some of us just went to the event and we listened. We didn't write a single thing down. When we got home, we didn't write a single thing down. Everyone had fun. And then you come back and you're like, shoot, I'm kind of just doing the exact same thing that I was doing before I even went there. So what I would challenge everybody to do tonight after this call, if you haven't done it already, and if you're a 30-day guy, do 30 days. If you're a 60-day guy, do 60 days. If you're a 90-day guy, do 90 days. But 30, 60, 90 days, you would write down, number one, you're going to create your system. But number one is you're going to create your non-negotiables, and you're going to write those down. So your non-negotiables, what? Your daily non-negotiables. How many dials am I making? How many DMs am I sending for recruiting? If you're like Andrew and your goal to come back was social media, how many times am I posting per week? Is there a new meeting that I'm implementing? And then also, what day am I doing that? Right? Is it daily posts on social media? Is it follow-ups with current clients? Is it putting that in your schedule? What day do I actually do that? Do I do that on Fridays? Do I do that on Mondays? What are my dial blocks, right? If my dial blocks are 8 to 11, take a quick lunch break, grab a coffee, and then I'm back on the phone at noon. What am I doing during that time? So writing all that stuff down and actually figuring out when I'm going to do these things and how many I'm non-negotiably going to get. Okay, so what day do you check your back offices? What day do you call the carriers, right? Because a lot of times, guys, we're coming back and we're doing this like chickens with our head cut off, right? And we're like, we're so fired up, we're going to sell, we're going to do this, and all of a sudden you haven't created a system to make it better. So that's number one, is writing down your non-negotiables, figuring out what your schedules. Maybe it's I know Nick D, he records his talk time. So maybe it's going to be minutes. Maybe it's going to be I'm going to do exactly 4 hours today on the timer. Like when he gets on the phone, he starts his timer on, I don't know if he has another phone or he starts it on his computer to make sure like this is the actual hours I was dialing. So you're going to write down your non-negotiables. Okay. The second thing that you're going to do, which I think is really cool, and this is not something that I've been very good at doing, but it's something I'm implementing now, is creating your minimums on your distraction days. Okay, so the first one we talked about, your non-negotiables, those are just on like your regular days. Your everyday is what it should be your goal. But then we do have distraction days. We have days where our family comes in town. We have days where we might be traveling, you're catching a flight. You have days where you might wake up and you have the flu and you're like, shoot, I didn't expect to have the flu today. So distraction days, what are your minimums even on distraction days? So if you have family in town, if you have to go to lunch with your mom, if you are like, shoot, every single Friday I have to do this and it's a non-negotiable thing in my life, and I'm gonna have this distraction, or my I got a flat tire, so now I have to go to the dealership and I got to get my tires fixed. Like those days happen, and a lot of times, guys, what's crazy, I think it was Dave Anderson that made me think about this. He said something about this, and somehow I, in my brain, wrapped it around to mean this. We tend to not plan for the days that don't go perfect. So a lot of times, like we're thinking like, oh, these are my dialing hours. Like we talked about in number one, these are my dialing hours. This is my schedule, this, that. But then if one thing goes wrong, we don't like, it's like the whole thing out the window, which I do that all the time with my diet, right? It's like I plan my diet for the whole day, but then if I eat like one tiny cookie, then I'm like, well, shoot, I might as well throw the rest of the thing out the window. And then I'm eating like 10 cookies because I'm like, I'll just start over again tomorrow. And that's what we tend to do in business as well. So the second thing that you guys should do is write down what are my minimums on my distraction days. Something happened with my kids at school. I got to go pick them up early. These are the things I still have to get done, like non-negotiably. Even if it's less than a regular day, what is it? So is that going to be on travel days? If I know I'm traveling, I'm still going to send this many DMs. I'm going to send half the amount of DMs I normally would. I'm going to maybe just try to get half the amount of talk time or whatever it is. Write those things down so that way, even on the days that don't go perfect, you're still accomplishing 50 to 70% of what you would on a normal day, which I think is super, super important. Okay. Um, the third thing is increase your environmental pressure. And that's what we kind of been talking about. Convention, guys, is so pressuring. Like, it's so weird because I feel like I don't even check my phone the whole day because I'm like sitting and I'm looking around and I'm like, I want to be so locked into the speakers because I feel like if I'm not locked in or I'm talking or I'm distracted or I go to the bathroom too many times at convention, like people are watching me. Does anyone else feel like that? Where you're like, I don't want to be caught in the hallway because someone's gonna know I'm in the hallway. Or like, I don't want to spend that much time in the bathroom because like people are gonna be like, oh, she went to the bathroom 3 times. So my point is like you're looking around the room and it's pressure. The lead giveaways are pressure. When Sean says like, hey, come back at 8 a.m., be here at 8 a.m., get there early, and then like your whole team's blowing you up in the chat. Like nobody better be late. I know some of the managers are like, don't be late or I'm kicking you off the team. Like I'm gonna kill you guys. So like some people take it too far, but it's just like this pressure. It's so much peer pressure. Like, does anyone feel like that? Like, Nicole, how much peer pressure do you feel at convention?
A lot. I feel like not only my team's watching me, but like everybody in there is watching me, and I'm like, I can't be late because my team can't be late, and if I'm late, then it looks bad for everyone on my team, and then I feel like just like people that probably are most definitely not paying attention to anything that I do in my daily life, like I feel like they're all looking at me
You
weird.
feel like you're like being watched. That's how
Oh,
I feel at the whole event.
yeah.
Like like it's the weirdest thing. Like I was like, I'm just gonna wait. Like if there was a speaker talking, I would purposely wait until like they were done talking and there was a switch because I'd be like, maybe no one will notice me walking back to my seat. So the point is, guys, like that's what convention does. Everyone's there early. You're getting no sleep. You're like rolling. You're writing down notes. That's another thing is like you look around, everyone's writing notes. So then all of a sudden you're like, all right, let me get my notepad, and you're like writing stuff down. So my point is, guys, at convention, that's really easy because there's 5,000 people in a room making you do it, and you feel weird if you don't. But the reality is, what we need to do is create that in our daily systems. So, in the third thing, guys, is increasing your environmental pressure. And the environmental pressure that we're talking about is this business. It's Zoom, it's the BOMs, it's the training I just gave you. It's this Zoom, even when you're like, Marissa's not calling on me and I'm not talking. It's are you actually plugged into what I'm saying? Are you actually listening to what Nicole just said? Are you listening to what Taylor just said? Are you listening to what Andrew just said, right? It's making sure that if Riyadh says, hey, we're having a team huddle at 8 a.m., even though I don't want to, like creating that pressure, that peer pressure of I need to be here. And a lot of times people are like, well, peer pressure is overwhelming and it's weird that you do that. But I'll tell you what, the people who feel peer pressured by this business sell a lot of insurance. And like part of me will say like don't always focus on the leaderboards because the leaderboards aren't important. But the reason we show you the leaderboards, that's not the only thing that's important, but the reason we show you the leaderboards is because we want you to feel pressured. Like, oh my goodness, if 30 people did 30K this month, why can't I do 30K? And it's not like you don't want to feel bad about yourself because everyone's in their journey, but you want to increase the pressure on yourself to go out and reach a potential that you didn't know you could reach. So that being said, guys, that's and even like your team speaking, like at convention too, Nicole, one of the things like you don't want to miss anyone speaking, especially like if your team is up there. So I'd be like, this person's coming up. Then you're also like, people are blowing up in the group chat, like, great job, Riyadh, good job, Jenna. Jenna's going up, like we're killing it. So then you're like, well, I don't want to be the one not watching because then how am I going to tell Jenna she did so good if I didn't even watch her speak? So you have to be there all the time. So you need to figure out how to way to create that now that we're out of convention in your daily. Is that Zoom? right? And it can't always be relying on your manager. It can't be relying on Des. Like Des said, don't talk to me if you're late because Des is like a drill sergeant. She's like the warden. She would be a great prison warden. But my point is like Des can't have that pressure all the time. Rhea, Nicole, like Taylor, Taylor will be blasting you on TikTok if you're not like showing up and doing your 30K a month that you need to do. But my point is like you have to figure out a way to create that for yourself and create that same pressure that you felt at convention to be early, to be watching your team speak, to show up to the awards. I was literally texting in Digna. I was going over to Gio's phone like, hey guys, make sure you're not late to the award ceremony. Their flights are delayed. Digna's like, my flight's delayed. I'm like, make your flight go faster. She's like, okay, I'm on my way. Like she's like, I can't tell the pilots to go fast. Like I'm gonna get there. She's like sprinting into the thing because she feels a pressure that she's gonna let me down if she's not there, and I feel pressure if she's not there to see her team get awards that I'm letting her down. So my point with all this, guys, is increase your pressure that you have right now in the business every single day, so that you feel so much peer pressure you have to sell. And that just is the name of the game. Some people are on this call and they're getting off already. People are dropping off because they're like, it's so stupid. But the reality is that's how people grow, right? It's like the same thing when you recruit someone. Like I was talking to some girls about this. I was talking to some girls on Nicole's team because I felt this way too. When Digna started freaking crushing it, I was like, oh my goodness. Now, like Andrew's gonna have a lot of pressure now that he just recruited 15 new guys. Because now he's like, I'm leading 15 new guys. Now I got the pressure to lead these guys, show them what's up, show them how I can sell. But like that's how it was when Digna started absolutely killing it. I was like, I gotta recruit some more people. I gotta start selling. I gotta go like even higher. Right. And so, same thing for you guys. If whatever you can bring into your circle, that's going to create a peer pressure for you. Right. We were talking about the other, like, I'm like, if this guy below me is going to get a comp raise, then like I better be working my butt off to make sure my comp is where my comp needs to be so that they can get their raises. Right. So, pressure is a good thing in the business. Right. There's going to be days where you need to take a break. There's going to be days where you need to find balance and you need like my mental is like, that's all true. And I'm not discounting that. But anything you can do to create the pressure outside of convention that you felt at convention is only going to help you in the long run. And you need to figure out how to do that daily because right now we're fresh off the event. But what are you going to do in 3 weeks, 6 weeks, 6 months? Are you going to be feeling the same way in October? That's why we do these trainings. That's why we do these meetings to prove one, that you can do this, right? We want to show you that you can do it and that it is possible. But two, so that you feel pressured like, shoot, I'm not going to show up to the next meeting next month and not be on that leaderboard. Okay. So that's super important. Zooms, leaderboard chats, right? I know Nicole, Des, we have a bunch of different chats. We have Discords, we have Slack groups, we have all these different things you can be plugged into. And that's sales pressure right there too, right? Right? That's peer pressure when I see, oh, Nicole made a sale. Oh, Riyadh made a sale. Oh, Dove made a sale. Oh, Jenna had a 60K month. Oh, Elizabeth just wrote this. Oh, Jonna yesterday closed a $42,000 IUL. I'm like, oh, dude, I'm getting on the phones, right? So anything that you can do to immerse yourself in that every single day is only going to make you continue to show up. So I think that's super important. And then number 4, guys, this is the last part of my tactics to make this motivation is going to last as long as it's going to last, but to stay disciplined in that motivation and actually reach your goals. And this is what I'm not good at, and this is I'm actually working on this tonight too, you guys. The 4th thing is writing down the stuff of what you're not doing. So the habits that you're giving up from now on. Okay, so I've gotten like one of my worst ones right now is I've gotten into this bad habit of going to a workout class like late in the morning. Like I'm going to workout class at like 9, which is like Mercy, you should be like on Zoom, like already working at 9. Like what the heck are you doing? So that was one of my things this morning that I'm like, God, even though I love this 9 o'clock class, like that's just dumb. Like you could just be so much more productive if you would just go to the 7 a.m. class, boom, you're home, you're ready by 8, like you're good. So like for me, guys, that's something transparently that I'm like, what the heck am I doing? So that's something that I let that slip away from me over last year. So that's something I'm like, okay, now if I can get up and be into my work day by 8 a.m. every morning, that's going to be helping me a lot in the long run. So those are some things you have to give up. Maybe you've gotten in the habit of, oh, I go to happy hour every Thursday. And now every Thursday, you know that Dom has a business overview meeting. So now it's like, shoot, am I still going to happy hour with my friends, or am I giving that up now? And I'm going to start plugging into Dom's BOMs and I'm going to start inviting and I'm going to start, hey, Dom, can I host? Do you need me to host? Right? Is it going to be, all right, now I'm giving up I'm giving up trip. Maybe you go on 5 trips a year or whatever. I don't know how many trips you go on. You're like, all right, I'm going to go on 3 this year to make sure that I can. So I think that's really important. So a lot of times we're writing down what we're going to do, what our schedule is going to be, our non-negotiables, but then we're not writing down anything we're sacrificing. Right? I went out to dinner the other day with someone and it was like a Thursday and they didn't order a drink. And I was like, do you just not drink? Or are you on dry January? Like, what's the deal? I did dry January, by the way. So you guys don't, everyone hold your applause. I know it's crazy. Anyway, my point is, guys, that I asked, I was like, do you not drink? And she's like, no, I just, my thing is I don't drink during the week. Like, she's like, if it was a Saturday or a Sunday, but she's like, that's just my thing now. I just, Monday through Friday, I know I'm locked into business. So I was like, that's really a good one, right? Maybe that's something for you where like, all right, no margaritas during the week anymore. I can only have a margarita on Sunday. I don't know what it is. But for each one of you, your things are going to be different that I think are going to help you if you're writing down, hey, not only what am I going to do, but also what am I eliminating? Are there certain people in your circle where you're like, hey, I spend 4 hours a week on the phone with this person and they're just yabbing and blabbing about their drama? Maybe that's a phone call you're eliminating. Maybe it's, hey, I'm aimlessly scrolling on Instagram, but I need to actually be creating content. So maybe it's just a replacement. Maybe it's not even an elimination. Maybe you're like, okay, usually when I'm not dialing, I'm scrolling. Instead of scrolling, I'm going to be recording content. Like Andrew, I'm going to put that out so that way I'm actually getting a recruit from my aimless scrolls. So whatever it is, guys, I think it's really important as we do those first three where you're writing down how am I going to take this motivation and make this motivation last as long as I can, or also just be able to turn it into a system that's actually going to work long term. Then maybe you also write down what are some things I'm replacing, what are some things I'm taking out, what are some habits I've let slip from me. Especially guys, end of the year, it's easy, right? What are some things I let slip that now I'm going to start picking back up again. So those are my four things, guys. That's part of the system that I would encourage you to write down. What are your non-negotiables for your everyday? What are your minimums on your distraction days? So the days that don't go perfect, what are you minimally trying to accomplish even on those days? Number three was increasing your environmental pressure, which is your business pressure here. Plug it into everything. And number four was making a list of the stuff that you have to cut out or things that you're not doing. So hopefully that helps you guys a ton. I want to hear from a couple more people, guys. If you got to hop off, hop off. If not, we're going to keep going. Let me see. Dom, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, Dom, you've been to a couple conventions. Was this the same for you or different or like what was the scoop?
It's always different, I would say, because some things are the same. Hearing the same stuff, hearing the work harder, buy more leads, that never goes away. But what was really different to me this year was just the how big it could really be. We brought more people, way more people than we were able to last year, and that's the same for a lot of teams in here. So it was very cool to see the growth with it, but also just kind of like what you're saying, the biggest thing I always take away is everybody that was up on stage, everybody that was at the awards, they're doing everything you just said. They're being consistent, they're staying disciplined, they're setting like these high priority levels. They're just producing at a high level in every scenario. So it's like if you can stay consistent with that year round, you'll find yourself up on that stage as well. But it has to be that year round, you know?
Was there anything, Dom, that anyone that has had a lot of success that spoke at convention that you thought like that's just way out of my wheelhouse, like I could never do that?
Not really. I mean, when you hear the crazy producers, it's always like, well, that's nuts, like 600, 700, 800K. But when you kind of break it down, you realize they're just spending more, working more. And a lot of times it's like I'm at the office a lot, but it's not like I'm locked in all the time. So it's where I can improve and improve my production hours. How long am I actually on the phones for? Because when these people are saying 10, 12 hours, they're talking about on the phones for 10, 12 hours. When I heard that one, I was like, damn, that's crazy. Like, that is locked in, locked in. But, like, why can't I do that, you know?
Yeah, it is kind of weird because I feel like sometimes like I want them to say something that like I'd be like, ah, that's just too far. Like I couldn't do that. And then they never do. So it's almost like you feel worse about yourself because you're like everything they said was like kind of basic that like any one of us could do.
Yeah, they're not special. No one that went up there was special, not even the keynote speakers, you know? And it's like, that's so cool to see that, like, anybody can reach that potential, you know?
Yeah, so what are some things you guys have been at the office crushing it? You guys were there on the weekend, so obviously that's, something that like you guys are picking right back up. What are some things that you've seen for your new guys coming out of it that's really picked up your guys' production the last couple days?
I think everybody's been more receptive they've been more coachable. So it's like if somebody's kind of like Taylor was saying, like if someone's saying, hey, buy more leads, they're like done. Because they understand now it's like they're not doing it like someone's not going to tell you that for their own gain. They're not going to tell you that because they want you to. They're telling you so that you can grow, you can do better. So they're just more receptive of like, hey, bring someone into the bomb on Thursday. It's like we're doing it so you could help grow your team. We're
Yeah.
doing it so you could introduce people into the business. So it's just all little stuff, being more coachable, being more receptive, so they could kind of be where they've never been before, which is really cool.
Yeah, it is kind of crazy because when you spend, like, obviously you do this like with your family and the people that are really close to you, like your best friends, when you spend so much time with people. And Dom, that's another reason like we're getting out all these different training calls and we're telling everyone like you can plug into whoever's, because sometimes you can be hearing the same thing, but you need to hear it from a different person. Right? Like it's so weird. That's happened to me so many times where like even with you and I, right? Or like you've had it with agents too, where you're like, I've been telling you that this whole time and you weren't listening, and then someone else tells me like, oh, it changed my life. I think someone did that with me, Riyadh the other day. Someone was like, oh, well, Riyadh told me I needed to do this. And I'm like, Riyadh's great, but like I've been telling you that for like 6 months. Like what? And they're like, yeah, I know, but Riyadh like told me. And so now I'm like, so I don't know what tone of voice he's using, but that's just the point of life is like sometimes you can be around the same people and it can be not resonating with you like you need it to be. So that's another reason, guys. If you're getting on the same training call every week and you're just like, oh, I just need something else, hop on Dom's, hop on Nicole's, hop on Riyadh's, hit up Taylor on social media, message Jenna. Jenna freaking loves to help everybody. She'll answer your DM like, hey, this is what you need to do. Like, she's great. Hop in and watch her do an IUL presentation, like whatever it is. So I think that's the environment, guys. It's super important for us to just cultivate as Inspire Group, but also for all of us is that there's gonna be motivation and that's gonna fade. So it's how do we keep plugging in and hearing advice from the right people and dialing and getting around the right, same thing. Like guys, we have an office in Boca. If you're in Florida and you're not where you want to be, come to the office. Like shoot us a text. We'll meet with you. If you're in Arizona, right? You got Nicole's in Arizona. You got Riyadh. Like they'll do dial days at their house. So do whatever you can to immerse yourself in this culture and get where you want to be. Digna has a lock-in. Like oh, and Jenna and Dove are moving to Arizona as well too. So that's gonna be powerhouse over there. But Digna has a lock-in like I feel like every like 3 weeks. And when I say her lock-ins are huge, like Elizabeth's there, Franklin's there. Like Elizabeth has her own. Elizabeth is in Boca. So if you're like, hey, I'm bilingual and I just need a little bit extra, like go out and seek the advice and seek the people that you need to be around. And we just want to be a squad that provides all that resources. So, Dom, thanks so much for your input. Thanks to everybody. I wish we had time to hear from everybody. This event was the best event I've ever seen, and for a lot of reasons. But I feel like the main reason is that it's just like it was such a feeling that like even everything we're accomplishing, like all the people on this call, there's still 125 people on this call, like you guys are going to just all get to where you want to get to. And it's not even that far fetched. Like when I started 5 years ago, 20K was a lot in a month. And now it's like 20K in a week is kind of just like normal, which is absurdity. And it's just crazy because it's so possible. So I love you guys. I'm really excited. You guys have a ton of great managers on the squad. And they're all, like I said, and there's even more. I mean, we could go back to the manager leaderboard. You're welcome to plug in with anybody. Let's keep the momentum as long as we can, but let's even more create the system that's going to keep us disciplined for the rest of the year. If you guys need help, reach out to me. All the managers are here for you. Find a running buddy, find people to keep you accountable, and I will see you guys on the next Inspire team call in 1 month from today. So let's get back on the phones. Love you guys, and let's keep crushing it. Bye, guys.